Aga-aga nagde-deliver para mamayang gabi. That's good time management, ha? Lead time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy that you're back with us in Conversations. And today we are going to be starting a series on time management. So tune in because this is going to be all about productivity and how do we manage our time in work and outside of work. So let's talk about time. What are the two concepts of time? So I've been a management consultant and leadership coach for 26 years. And I remember back in the day when we all started, we were all into productivity seminars, productivity workshops. And one of those workshops that we did was time management. So my partner and I developed a program called Time Check, which is a productivity tool that allows you to take a look at time, your task. How do you manage the tasks that you've been given at work so that you can meet your deadline, so that you can even have lead time na hindi lang just in time yung submission mo ng work mo, pero yung even before that nakakapag-submit ka. So you tend to become a top performer or a blessing to your company and to your boss. Not only that, when you're able to do that, you are also able to become a blessing to your family. Kasi time management, it looks at three things. It takes a look at how do you manage your time at work, how do you manage your time with your family, and how do you manage time for yourself. Because it's important for you to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to spend time for yourself. In fact, you have to spend time for yourself because if you don't give time to yourself, you can't be productive at work. The reason why people are really productive at work is because they're able to manage tasks for themselves. And that task could be simple. It could be going to the gym. It could even be yung mga sinasabi nilang glow up, yung mga ganun, yung new image, yung good haircut, or maybe going to the salon, going to get to get a massage and all. That is all for yourself. You need to take a look at that. So we'll be talking about time management in the coming episodes. And pick up what you can. Pick up what you can learn from these conversations that we're going to have in relation to time management. Let me just take this time to introduce two concepts of time, which is Chyos and Kronos. So let's take a look at the latter first. What is Kronos? Kronos, you see that a lot in watches. Yung mga chrono or chronograph, yung mga gano, chronology. You hear that term. So what is Kronos? Kronos is the measure of time. Kronos is like the quantitative part of time. This is where you have 24 hours in a day. You're able to measure it. Or 7 days in a week. Or 4 weeks in a month. 12 months in a year, 365 days. So this, when you talk about Kronos, you're talking about your timeline. How much time do you need to complete a project? How much time do you need to give into a task that you need to do for your work? Or how much time do you need to give for your family? Let's say you take your wife out or your spouse out for a date, your partner, you're on a date with your partner. How much time? Right? Or let's say you're going out on a vacation. How many days are you going to go out for a vacation? Or you go to the gym. How much time do you need to complete your exercise routine? That's Kronos. So 365 days, 7 days in a week, etc. All of that, that's all Kronos. So that's important because we all are measured. All the things that we do are measured by time, including our own lives. Average life expectancy, they say now, is 75 years old. But we know that if you take care of yourself, if you really spend time to eat properly, like we learned from Coach Sid, if you learn to, move a lot of times, if you spend time going to the gym or walking, for example, just like our friend over here who does 5 kilometers. He's able to walk 5 kilometers. So when I saw him now, I just saw him now, he's part of our team, si Miko. When I saw him, I was like, wow, do you go to the gym? Ganun. So sabi niya, sir, I walk. I do a lot of walking. So that time, yung oras na binibigay niya sa paglalakad, importante yon para makabawas sa timbang and so you feel better. And he actually told me that when he starts walking, he's able to clear his mind. So he becomes more creative. So and that is very important because you cannot be creative if you're always doing the job. Creativity comes from the point where you are resting. In fact, there is a word called recreation. I remember doing a time management seminar for a pharmaceutical company, and they produce milk. So before I did the seminar, the vice president for sales came up and he said, I know you're going to be spending these next 2 days planning your days, your weeks, your month. And those of you who are in the pharma industry, who are reps or into sales, you know that their time is really very, very tight because they're either with in a roundtable discussion with doctors or they're in the trade. But they're just doing so many stuff. And when I was doing the seminar for them, for the sales team, so the vice president for sales for this particular brand came up, the milk brand came up, and he said, I know you're going to be planning your day, your week, your month. And he said, as you do that, please set aside time for doing nothing. And you know if a person's stressed because their shoulders are normally hunched. Di ba? Ganun eh. Pagka-stress sa mga tao, nakaganon sila parati. Their body is not relaxed. It's always tense. I was seated at the back and most of them were looking like this. When he said, please spend time doing nothing. Wala kang ginagawa, wala kang iniisip. Nakita ko yung mga balikat nila, guys, gumano, no? Bigla, sort of saying, ay, salamat, at least, boss, ikaw yung nagsabi na magpahinga kami. Kasi ikaw parati yung utos ng utos. Na joke. So I wanted to listen for the reason. And he said this. He said, the reason I tell you to do this is because when your mind is not doing anything, when it's in the recreation mode, that's the only time that you can truly create. Sabi ko, oy, maganda yun, ha? And think about it. Di ba, if you want to come up with a new idea, normally it comes when you're walking. Yung wala kang iniisip, you're walking, biglang all of a sudden, ping, wow, okay, bago yun, ha? I didn't think of that before. Or maybe when you're out, when you're on vacation, and everybody's asleep, you take some time, kunwari, nasa beach ka, kunin mo yung coffee mo, tapos nando ka na sa may beach, umiinom ka ng kape, while you're enjoying the scenery, while you're enjoying the peacefulness of the beach, recreation, nagre-recreate. In other words, you come up with something new. You come up with something brilliant. Right? Or maybe when you spend some time just musing or meditating, then of course something comes up. Or, a very simple example, you're in a meeting. Tapos you're talking about something. You're talking about something, new project, a new initiative, and medyo nagkakaroon kayo ng roadblock. Notice this, ha. I don't know if this happens to all of you out there listening or it's just me. Pag may I go out ka, diba? Sabi mo, CR break muna tayo. Okay. Paglabas mo, when you go to the comfort room to relieve your bladder, pagbalik mo bilang, may naisip ako. I don't know if that's happened to you. It's happened to me many times. In fact, most of us should write a book. Banyo thoughts. Banyo thoughts. Because most of the ideas that we could not think of during the time of meeting, isang oras na tayo nagmi-meeting, wala pa rin tayong maisip na bago. Pag nagbanyo ka, pag nag-CR ka, nag-bladder break ka, guess what? When you come back, bilang, naisip ko lang to. Right? And then you start talking about it again. And then new ideas come, fresh ideas come. But that's the power of when you recreate, when you spend time doing nothing. Yan ang tinatawag nating Kronos. When there's a specific time for you to take a break, when there's a specific time for you to just do nothing and muse, this is the time that you can truly recreate. That's the first concept of time. The second concept of time naman is Kairos. Okay? So Kairos, ano naman yung Kairos? Kairos is qualitative time. So Kronos is quantitative time, the quantity. Kairos is the quality of time, the qualitative time. So this is, say for example, 8 to 5. What is the quality of output that you do from 8 to 5? Yeah, yan yung Kairos. Or maybe the opportune time. So some of you might want something approved by the boss. Kairos yon. Kasi syempre, tatimingin si boss. Okay ba yung timpla ng mood ni boss? Kasi kung okay, ayan, pasok mo na. Diba? Pasok mo na yung bago mong project. Kasi hihingi ka ng budget yan eh. You're gonna ask for a budget and you're gonna seek the approval. So, Kairos yon. You have to seek the opportune time. Timingin mo. Or, let's say, for example, there is an issue that came out for your brand, an issue that came out for your product, and it's all on social media. Eh, tama-tama ikaw yung in charge dun sa brand na yun. Marketing ka or ikaw yung product specialist. Opportune time, Kairos yun. Timing. Ta-timingan mo. Is it the right time to address the issue on social media? Or maybe you should wait for the right time. Kasi hindi lahat ng bagay kailangan sagutin mo na kagad eh. Minsan ta-timingin mo muna eh. Because sometimes the issue can just die down. Na you don't have to address the issue, it just dies down. Or nawawala na lang siya. So you save yourself a lot of time, effort, and energy by doing that. Now, there are some times that you really need to address the issue right away. Kairos yun. Opportune time, right? So, that is what is the time that the quality of time that you spend at work? What is the quality of time that you spend at home with your family, right? So, sabi nga nila, many people tell me, oh, kailangan you have to date your spouse, you have to take out your kids, etc., and all that stuff, no? So when you take out when you go on a date with your spouse or your partner, quality of time, Kairos. So, nagde-date naman kami eh. Oh, what do you do on a date? Nanonood kami ng sine. Minsan hindi Kairos yun, hindi quality time yun kasi hindi kayo nag-uusap eh. You're not talking to each other. So, Kairos or quality of time spent, it's not necessarily how long you spend with the person. It's what do you do when you're together. So sometimes it could just be a drive. Like, for example, when I take my kids to school, it's a drive. But for me, we talk. I get to know what's happening to them. Or when I go out with my wife, minsan kasi kami, yung Fridays. So after, not Fridays the restaurant, but Fridays kami lumalabas. So sometimes, after a long day of work or a long week of work, what we do is call. Oh, what are you doing today? Oh, what are you doing tonight? Nothing. All right, let's go out to have dinner. Right? And when we go out to dinner, importante yun. Importante, we don't talk about work. Nothing about work. In fact, that's the first disclaimer that we do. No work. We will not talk about work. The whole week has been spent for work. We just want to talk about ourselves. How are you? How am I? What's up with you? What do you want to do? So, and a good way to get to know a person is this. Simple question now. And we always ask ourselves this. If money and time were not an issue, what would we be doing today? What would we be doing today? In other words, everything's okay. The kids are all done with school. The business is doing well. And what will we be doing? Time and money is not an issue. What would be doing? That's a good conversation starter. And many times you see some things common between the two of you. So for me and my wife, for example, we would spend a lot of time traveling because there are many, many places that we still have not been to, but we want to visit those places. So if time and money were not an issue, we would spend our time traveling locally and internationally. So now it becomes not just a conversation piece, but you get to know more about your your spouse or your partner. What is a place that you want to go to? So, for example, for us, we like going to New York, not just because we have family there, but we don't tire of New York, most especially. Another place that we want to go to is Japan. Kasi we haven't been to the other prefectures of Japan. So nakapunta lang kami sa Osaka, nakapunta lang kami sa Tokyo. Yung 10 days namin was so packed that sabi namin the next time we go, we'll spend maybe 10 days, but we'll just stay in one place. Then walk around, just enjoy the time together, walking, taking a look at all the things there. We go on a tour maybe one day, but the rest of the day we'll just spend some time visiting shops, going here, going there. Of course, hindi mawawala ang shopping at saka ang pagkain. Kasi alam naman natin, pag Japanese food, iba rin yung dishes done compared to what we eat here. Diba? So, those things are very nice to talk about because it gives you not just talking pieces, but it gives you a goal. But also next time, when we have the opportunity, now we can go to Japan. So, Kairos is always the opportune time. It's the quality of time. So think about that. No, it's not just always the Kronos. It's not just the what's my deadline, what's the timeline, ano yung lead time ko para dito, naka-Gantt chart ka pa and all that stuff. Pero isipin mo rin yung quality, yung Kairos, quality of time that you spend to produce a task or to produce your output. That's very important. Not just the quantity, but even the quality of time. So those are two of the important concepts to understand about time. Because from there, then we will know more about how do we prioritize stuff. How do we prioritize our tasks? Because before, kasi it used to be work-life balance. Yung work-life balance, how do you balance out your time for your work and your family and all that and everything. However, now it's no longer work-life balance because over time we've found out that there's always going to be an imbalance. Parating magkakaroon ng imbalance yan. So it's no longer work-life balance, it's work-life integration. Ano ibig sabihin nun? If you love what you do, we've heard this many times, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. That's work-life integration because excited ka sa ginagawa mo. It's almost integrated to everything that you do. For example, for me, my main line of work is as a coach, as a speaker, as a facilitator of seminars, as a consultant. That's my main line of work. I've been doing it for 26 years and there's no signs of me stopping or slowing down. I just keep going and going and going. I love it. So everything that I do reflects that. It's all about the learning. So whether I open another business or not, it's always going to be in line with learning. If I open a business, there's still going to be learning that's going to happen. This particular show is a learning show. If you think about it, it's a show that you can learn from conversations. It's a show that we've put out there for all of you, the viewers, to learn from and to listen to. Kapupulutan ng aral. So yun yung goal namin because we love what we do. Our team, our partners in Spark Connections Films, they love what they do. So for us, when we all come together, we're like playing. Para kami naglalaro. But at the same time, we want to be able to produce really good content. for all of you. But to us, it's not work. It's fun. We have a lot of fun offset while we're having lunch or while we're having a meal. We're always talking. Lahat kami, we're all like that. So it's really work-life integration. What we do for work is really part of our life already. So whether I'm with my family, whether I'm at work, whether I'm with my team in my different businesses, it's all about how do we add value to them? How do we add value by what we do? That's work-life integration. So those are the two concepts that we're going to be taking a look at. And the coming episodes, we are going to be bringing in some guests who will be talking about how do they manage their tasks at work, how do they manage their lives, and how do they manage their relationships. So with that, I want to put that first in your minds. Think about it. Chyos, Kronos, not just the quantity of time, but the quality of time that you spend. And I'll see you all next time on Conversations with Arya Bello.